Hey VC, it's Mazzy here, and welcome to my channel. And this is going to be something a little different. I'm going to showcase one record at the very end, play you one very special record to my life. But this is a little autobiographical, and as you probably know, I'm one of the, I just say elder statesmen. That kind of lifts me up more than I am. I'm probably one of the older folks here on the VC. Maybe not. My point is, I am one of the first generation Beatle fans, and on February 7th, 1964, when the Beatles first appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show, I was about 9.5 years old, the perfect time. Leading up to that, I was first baseman in Little League, really into sports, really into especially Little League and baseball, and I like to run, and I was very athletic, you know, for a 12-year-old. I think we all were then, obviously before the internet and before, you know, kids were on video games stuck in their house all the time. We were outside. But after that February 7th performance on the Ed Sullivan Show, myself, like a lot of other young kids my age, everything changed. All of a sudden, I wanted to be in a band. All of a sudden, I wanted to play music. Up to that time, I had played two different instruments slightly. I took accordion lessons for about 6 months. I think that was an idea that my grandmother kind of talked my parents into because she loved the Lawrence Welk show so much. And then also I played clarinet for like one semester, 1 year in grammar school. And those were the days when there was music. I mean, every public school seemed to have music classes, right? It's unfortunate they don't now. But the Beatles, after that, everything changed. So about, you know, late 65, I mean, it took me a little while, but I started taking drum lessons. I started playing the drums. And I'm going to showcase some things and tell a little story about my band and two very close friends of mine. Unfortunately, they're no longer with us, but one of them, his name is Larry. Larry and I met in 1966, early 66, in school, in junior high school. Was it? Yeah, and we were both in the orchestra, the school orchestra, and we were both drummers. I ended up playing timpani. Obviously, you don't use these are not timpani sticks. And Larry mostly played the snare drum and the big bass drum, side bass drum. You didn't have a full kit that was more into a stage band. But I don't play drums very well anymore, but this set, even play for you because it's embarrassing. I don't play, but this set has a lot of sentimental value. Fuck the neighbors, right? When I moved to Seattle 5 years ago, my buddy Larry passed away 6 years ago, and when I moved away 5 years, his wife gave me his drum kit. This is not the drum kit we had when we were kids, but this is a small Gretsch jazz set, so I have that. But what happened is, we were friends and we wanted to start a band, so literally, I remember, like all of a sudden the next week, I got originally acoustic guitar, and I learned 3 chords. And started playing this. Gloria, Gloria, that's all you needed. And we started a band, and the name of our band was called The Silencers. And there was an 80s band called The Silencers, but we were the fucking first. We were way before that. And we named it because there was a Dean Martin movie, a series of movies. He played a spy or a detective or a spy called Matt Helm. Takeoff, obviously, in the James Bond movies, but the more lighthearted sex romps. Typical Dean Martin fare, but the first movie was called The Silencers. But then I got electric guitar. This is me in 1966 with my St. George. that guitar was a fucking battle axe. Heavy strings, hardly stayed in tune. My friend Danny with his kind of like a Gretsch knockoff or something. I don't even know what it was. We all had knockoff guitars. We didn't have real guitars right away. But this was, remember, 1966, the Monkees were on TV, and we did all these kind of artsy pictures for ourselves, little Kodak box cameras. Danny was our lead singer, tambourine player, second guitarist. This is us out in the suburbs of San Francisco with our trio, our initial trio. Actually, we're a quartet, but Kirk didn't stay long, but we never had a bass player either, which is kind of bizarre. But the Silencers, how suburban is that? It's almost like Kinks song, right? Or Blue Suburban Skies, right? Penny Lane. This is our band when Larry only had a snare drum. I had the St. George. Fun stuff. And then Larry and I both celebrated our bar mitzvahs in September 1967. His parents gave him a blue Sparkle or blue Metal Flake Ludwig drum set like the Ringo set, only blue instead of the, it wasn't the swirls like Ringo's set. It was, it's hard to see it in this picture. And my parents gave me a Fender Jazzmaster guitar. And the guitar was about a 64 or 65 edition. So it was used, but only, 2-3 years old by then. And I love that guitar, although the Jazzmaster wasn't considered a hip guitar then. It was considered a surfer's guitar. And we were in Northern California, not into surfing music, not into the Beach Boys. We were into 66 and 67 garage band music. Aside from psychedelic, we were into The Leaves, Hey Joe, and Psychotic Reaction, and You're Gonna Miss Me by 13th Floor Elevators, and Psychotic Reaction. Did I already say that? But all that garage, all those songs that you heard later on the Nuggets collections, that sort of garage rock thing that was really kind of fun, like almost like one-hit wonders. Syndicate of Sound, Little Girl, God, all that stuff. We used to do those covers of all those songs. We also did covers of Doors songs, like we did Break On Through, and we didn't do Light My Fire because we didn't have an organ player, but we did, we did People Are Strange and that stuff. We didn't really do any Beatles songs until a little later, but we had that. But our friend Danny's father was an attorney, and he actually had, a couple years later, worked on the Altamont case where the Hells Angels killed the guy at Altamont, a show that I actually went to, but it's a totally separate story. But his father had a friend who had a recording studio called Commercial Recorders. It was on a small side street in South of Market area called Natoma Street, right behind where now is the Museum of Modern Art in San Francisco. We went upstairs, we were 12-year-old kids, 1967, and we recorded 2 songs. It was such a thrill. 12-year-old kids, 1966, fall of 66. And one was written by Danny called I Don't Care, and the other one I co-wrote called Blast Off. I'm not gonna play that. Guitar's out of tune, Danny's voice high. This is just before voices were changing. But the lyrics, going back on it, looking at it at the time, we didn't know, but the lyrics are so punk. I don't care if you stomp me out. I don't care if you kill me now. I don't care if you poison my food. I don't care if you love a dude, for I don't love you no more, I don't love you. But without further ado, this is the record. We pressed 5 copies. This is 53 years ago. The Silencers, I Don't Care. I think we did 2 takes on it altogether.
if you break my car. I don't care if you hit me with a ball. I don't care if you poison my food. I don't care if you love her too, but I don't love you no more. 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 I don't care if you smash my TV. I don't care if you drink my tea. I don't care if you look outside. I don't care if you cry, but I don't love you.
Well, VC, thanks for indulging me. This is kind of like my therapy session now. This video is dedicated to my buddies, Danny, miss you, my friend, and my friend Larry. We had a great childhood. It was a special time growing up, and it got me into music, changed my life, got me into the arts, got me into music, got me into the creative fields, and I always wanted to be a part of that creative endeavor. And I think I succeeded to a point, but that's it. So anyway, without further ado, that was the Silencers on, let me show you this record. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Anyway, I think they only pressed five copies. We each got a copy, and I think his father got a copy, Danny's father. The Silencers, I Don't Care, Commercial Recorders, 149 Natoma Street, San Francisco. And Blast Off, 1966. So I really appreciate you watching and subscribing to my channel and indulging me occasionally when I go off from just, instead of just showing records I bought or artists. I think one great thing about the VC and these channels, when people tell stories, and obviously I have a story to tell, and all this music, even though I love it and sometimes it's for entertainment value, which it always is, there's certain biographical parallels and things that happen also during it. So again, I dedicate this to the Silencers, the original Silencers, and my buddies who are no longer here, and Larry's drum set. There you go. Love you, Larry. Love you, Danny. Mazzy loves you, and thanks for watching. Take care.